cinematic atrocity for this video will be Troll 2. Now, I'm able to break my one rule of not watching the movie that came before it, because this movie has nothing to do with the first Troll film. This was just like it was called Troll 2 as a way to popularize it with they're goblins in this movie, for one starters. So this movie's famous for the terrible acting clip of goblins eating someone, a green pile of goo, cutting to a teenager with glasses saying, "Oh my God, they're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my God." And the acting is so stiff and lame that people use it for everything. And a lot of people consider this the best worst movie, and there's even like a documentary about it. And of course the movie is very, has a cult following, so I want to check it out. This movie isn't as funny as that clip presents, but it is bonkers in many other ways. There's a lot of stuff going on with this film, trouble with funding and stuff like that, but it's like an Italian production for starters, and it's about a family, and the youngest, I don't even remember the kid's name, but the kid basically keeps seeing visions of his grandfather, very Princess Bride-like, and his grandfather warns him of goblins or something, and the parents don't believe the kid, but they're going to go on a month-long trip to the countryside and do a house swap thing. However, they go to Nilbog, which is like this town, and the residents there are all actually goblins, and they have human disguises, and they basically try to feed you specially poisoned food, and the poisoned food turns you into plants, and then the plants rot into chlorophyll goo and they eat you. So that's kind of like the hook of the movie. So the kid, they're in like a van and they drive there, and there's the kid, his sister, and his parents, but there's also an RV with the kid's sister's boyfriend and his 3 friends. And the conflict with the sister and the boyfriend is that he hangs out with them too much. She wants to take his virginity, but friends are always there, and it's awkward. And it's hilarious because the sister has this scene where she's working out, and then her acting is so bad and stiff throughout the film. Great source of comedy, of course, and the dad too. But the kid basically has to stop them from eating, which is impossible because they're on vacation. So the kid goes to extreme measures to stop them from eating any of the tainted food, and there's not much else going on in terms of plot, but I think the scene stealers of this movie are definitely the friends. There's the glasses wearing one. He's walking through he goes outside for some reason. He sees a woman screaming and running. So he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh my God, goblins are trying to turn me." So they confront him, and he's like, "I'll protect you, lady." And there's a scene where they throw a spear at his chest, and he's just like, "Ah." And then they run into this church, and there's the leader of the goblins, I guess. She's there, and she's she offers them drinks or something, and the young woman turns into a tree, and then he turns into a tree, and then that guy's friend. Oh yeah, there's 3 friends. Okay, all three friends have great sequences. There's the first one with the glasses and the whole, "Oh my God, they're eating her." But the second one, he's running into town to get some groceries. And the police sheriff is one of the goblins and offers him a sandwich. And he eats it, he starts turning into a tree, but it takes the entire movie. And he's sweating green the entire movie. And then finally he turns, but he finds his friend, the one with the glasses, and he's like, "Pull me out." And then the third friend is getting seduced by the leader of the goblins. And there's a scene with the corn. The corn is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. She's trying to seduce him and get him to eat, but he's like, "Oh, I want sex." And then she offers him corn. He's like, "I like popcorn." And then popcorn just starts exploding all over them as they have sex. And if you think the sex scenes from The Room were awkward, this one is up there, So those 3 friends have the best scenes, Everyone, the kid and his family, it's not that funny, There's some awkward, scenes with goblins, and there's a scene where they're holding the kid down to feed him a Nilbog ice cream, and his dad walks in, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, this is a misunderstanding. We were trying to give your son ice cream." And the dad's just like, "Okay." It's the most ridiculous stuff. But nothing really compares to the three friends, though, and their encounters with the goblins. And then they have the finale and everything. It's a very short film. It's only like barely an hour and 20 minutes. But it, you know, offered me some chuckles here and there. But it wasn't like the laugh riot that the reputation, you know, there's a lot of hype going into watching this film. You know, the special effects are pretty goofy too, and I think during the end, the family does something to kill all the goblins, and all of them are overacting. But then they just put like a statue of a goblin in the middle of it, and like blow it up, I guess, and it looks so awkward. But so it's a schlocky, fun time for sure. But there's some moments of not funniness. But you know, overall, it's an enjoyable movie, I guess. I would give it a cinematic atrocity score of only 6 out of 10.